Continuing. It says, the Willie Lynch letter. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the banks of James River in the year of our Lord. They got to say our Lord. Yeah, their Lord, though, because contrary to popular belief, the Most High God and His Son and the Scriptures is what you would call a so-called black man. So their Lord, of course, wouldn't be a black man. That's why you got this image of Cesare Borgia that they, and you know how blasphemous that is. That's why I think the Most High got a special. I saw somebody recently, and like how Asaph in Psalm 73 said he began to envy the wicked. But I think the Most High put it on my spirit. Like I was wondering, like, damn, how is all these wicked people? Just a wicked ass nigga. What is he still doing? What I mean? But that's because the Lord got a special judgment set. That's why look at all these places in the world that's getting fucked up, right? And people so goofy, like Donald Trump telling you in your face, well, yeah, I'm making America great. But I've been in other places around this country recently, and California homeless rate is just ridiculous. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you see that shit here, but you just see it out there. I didn't even want to do nothing else. I mean, they was trying to say, oh, you should go sightseeing and shit. I don't want to really do that because it was depressing to me. You know what I mean? Anyhow, not to digress though, but my point of bringing all that up is, like I said, at the end of the day, he bear with me for a second. Slovakia. It says, first I should thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. Bear with me for a second. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 4. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his height. As for all enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit, and fraud under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the village, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set up against the poor. And who are the poor? Salakia. Jake. You see that now to this day, and yet still, you got our dumbass people that talking about that they would side with this Edomite. This Edomite still is preying on you to this day. How do you think they cities and shit function for real? Like when you take time to think about it, the shit is like. I was just looking, like, recently I just got a car, right? And I've never sat back and thought about it recently, like, when you really pay attention to their whole system. First of all, you're not supposed to be walking on concrete, but they created this concrete that got to be, these streets and shit that got to be constantly upkept. But then when they don't upkeep it, it fucks up your car, therefore making you put more money into the economy because you're going to have to take it to a shop or something. So this shit is just diabolical. You know what I mean? Like, verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Bear with me. Continue. It says, as our boat sailed south on the James River, named for the illustrious king whose version of the Bible we cherish. You hear this shit? I saw enough to. So if you cherish the Bible, then you've seen that scripture in Revelations 1. When it tells you about the appearance of the Lord. What's that, 1:14? Let's get it. God, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as the flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if burned in a furnace. Now, I worked with metal, right? When you take like copper or brass and you put it in the fire, it gets darker. It's already like a brownish color. for lack of a better word. But when you put it in fire, it darkens it. So if his feet was, you know what I'm saying? But they'll play like they don't see the scripture though. Anyhow, it says, while Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highway in great numbers, you here are using the tree and the rope on occasion. And that's when I'm assuming he talking about when they was hanging slaves. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging as a spirit. I kept the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprising. Do you realize what they're saying? This motherfucker came in to help them manage. And like I said, when you really take the time to pay attention to this, you know, our people are still stuck. I mean, it's called Stockholm syndrome. Like Patty Hearst, you know, when you start to actually relate to your fucking oppressor or your kidnapper, nigga need to be destroyed. Stupid ass niggas. He said, you're losing valuable stock by hangings. You are having uprisings. See, because that's the thing. Esau not going to tell you about how many slave rebellions it really was. It was a lot of Jake that, man, no. Like I said, they tell you a few about them, like the Amistad and what's the one with Nat Turner. And do you know what made him? That's how you know the spirit of the Lord is not this punk ass shit that these Edomites tell you. The spirit of the Lord came upon him by reading the Bible, and that's what made him fucking do that. At the end of the day, you ever heard about, what's that, Denmark Vesey? This motherfucker was so cold, Jake. That motherfucker could speak different languages. He was about to set it up, but it wasn't that time, you know what I mean? Because he had it set up. He had all the people. He learned how to speak all the different kind of languages, was talking to all the different slaves about to start a rebellion. But the Lord, you know, he stopped. That's how you know the Lord be in the midst of all this shit. Salakia, it says, your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I am visiting to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves, which they still use it to this fucking day. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, but that's in the scriptures, you know what I mean? It said that, like the brother that, let me find it. Because it say, you know, with the curse, how the woman of the household and the man in the household don't go get along. It said that's why you got black on black crimes and shit like that. Like, because Jake don't trust one another. It says that his eye is gonna be evil to his brother. This is Deuteronomy 28. I think it's like in 50 something. It said it's Deuteronomy 28 and 54. So that the man that is tender among you, meaning peaceable and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So that's why you got all the broken homes and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, that curse is so heavy. And I just really realized that, like, because I was wondering, I'm like, you know, the Lord gave me back my family to a certain extent, but I never, the brothers were saying something about when we was celebrating Purim. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like when Xerxes actually put out the decree to kill the Jews, then he had to make another decree because he couldn't just stop that first decree. When Haman, it's deep, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. So the Lord had already put this curse. That's why you got some brothers that suffer the affliction of dealing with their demon. Or they Eve. Some brothers call them Eve. I call mine demon. She's the motherfucking demon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's like baby Eve to somebody else. And they'll tell you in your face, nigga, fuck you. Like, that's crazy. Anyhow, it says, I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies. That's how you know Jake was in the West Indies. That's how you got Benjamin and Levi. And it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There's intelligence, size, sex, status on the plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in a valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair. And that's why you got these stupid, you played on color. Some slaves were lighter. You got to remember, to show you how cold the Most High is, that's why, like I said, when you really get a healthy respect of the Lord and the fear of the Lord, because what it say, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I mean? When you take time to think about this, they was raping the slave women and then killing the babies, but them wasn't our babies. You know what I mean? If the white man raped them, you know what I'm saying, these and got them pregnant, that was their fucking babies. Ain't that cold? But they were so simple on certain shit, you know what I mean? That's why there's a lot of, like, you know what I mean? Just like with the Indians, you know what I mean? Like, them Indians that own those fucking casinos and shit, those not real Gad. Gad is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell real Gad because Gad suffered the curses like us. They out there alcoholics and fucking weed. Like, I got brothers that been to Alaska and shit like that. It's a lot of Gad out in Alaska. You know. Anyway, Salakia, it says, I shall give you an outline of action, but before I shall show you that this trust is stronger than trust. And envy is stronger than adoration, respect or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. And I think it's somewhere in here where it literally says it would take a divine miracle to break this cycle. You literally, like I said, seeing the conditions that this man, that's how you know it was all divine intervention. You know what I mean? The Lord put the spirit on this dude to do this shit. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination and shit, oh, I read that, Salakia. Don't forget, you must pitch. Salakia. I'm going to stop here.